Tony Strudwick, Head of Performance, Football Association of Wales. My role currently involves delivering and planning the preparation of the elite players with the Football Association of Wales, the first senior team, but also looking at the talent pathway from U17s, 19s and 21s. I think one piece of advice that I would give to young people that are looking for a career in elite sport, and in particular football, is to think about the longer journey, and it's a continued learning journey. So it is about working hard, it's about ensuring that you absorb as much information as you possibly can and look for learning opportunities. And beyond the learning piece, it's about banging on doors. The industry, it's a big industry, it's still a very much evolving industry, but you've got to keep knocking on doors. And I always say that in the roles that I've had, I get loads of CVs that come across the door, and I think the people that sometimes show a bit of personality, where they keep a little bit of perseverance, just keep trying, keep studying, and keep knocking on the door. Yeah, I think the advantages of a long-term education program for any person is that whatever industry you work in, there's a continued innovation, in particular in sport. So that continued learning is very, very important for anybody that's working within an elite setting, because the game's continuously changing, technologies are continuously changing. So therefore, you've got to keep upskilling yourself. I think when you work in elite sport, there is a danger sometimes of becoming a little bit of a microcosm. So you're not aware of some of the innovations that are coming from other areas, either industry, military, technology, and so on and so forth. So that lifelong pursuit of academic education is very, very critical. The key qualities really when you to work with elite athletes as a practitioner, whether it be a coach, sports scientist, analyst, whatever psychology you're looking for, is one is you got to demonstrate some level of talent in your field. To demonstrate that level of talent, it takes hard work to get there. I think beyond that, it's about looking around, having the confidence to deliver a message. So the confidence really to talk with people, to engage with people, because essentially you are working with elite athletes and elite coaches. And then the other pieces are really around sort of having the right ambition and personality to want and have the drive to get you there, because it's not a linear journey. When to be successful in this area, it's not a linear journey. There's ups and downs, and you've got to demonstrate that personality and ambition and drive to put the extra yards in, to put the extra hours in, and obviously to deal with the disappointments along the road, because it's a road full of speed bumps and obstacles, and it's never plain sailing. So you've got to be able to deal with that. I mean, I've now been in the industry for 25 years, so it's 2.5 decades. I'm a bit of a granddad, I think. But the landscape of sport has changed dramatically from when I first arrived in sport, post 95, 96. The sports science was in its infancy. It was probably still more of an academic pursuit. When you look at now the growth of the industry in terms of interdepartmentalization, there's a growth of performance analysis, more intelligent, more informed, more data. The coaching process has changed dramatically. It's more cerebral, there's more thinking about it, there's more to putting on a session. And obviously the growth of sports science has been exponential. So how we get an athlete to not only to perform but also to improve beyond the limits that we previously thought. And that the game's continuously changing. We know that from research. The game's getting quicker and athletes are running faster and they're continuously evolving. So the landscape has changed dramatically in the last 25 years, and I still expect that to change in the next 25 years. And I think that's why this continued learning journey is very, very important, because you've got to future-proof your employability. Where's the game going to be in the next 5, 10, 15 years? And what are the skills required to be successful in that industry? I think the role of the performance analysis has also changed dramatically over the last 10 years, the growth of the industry. And now it's not necessarily seen as a discipline within its own right. It's not a case of clipping and coding and making videos. It's so much more than that. So the ability really to analyse data, so the analytics component has grown, looking for performance insights, so research insights and performance insights. How you visualise that data and feed it back to the coach is very pivotal. And I really do think that the role of the modern performance analysis is such that they become the coach's assistant. So they identify performance insights, they feed back to the coach, and they're a pivotal part in driving the process for team performance, for talent recruitment, identification, and also looking at what the requirements at the top level and where we can get there. And beyond that, the role of the analyst really is to connect sports science with physiotherapy, with rehabilitation and performance. So I really do see the performance analyst really sitting at the hub of the coaching process. It's really critically important that when you do work in elite sport, you've got to be informed, and you've got to stay abreast of the latest innovations. And fortunately, I worked at a club, Manchester United, for 11 years, and Manchester United were always synonymous with innovation and being at the front of performance. And I think it's very important because the landscape changes dramatically from one season to the next, and I think you've always got to keep updating. Professional sport is like a treadmill; it just keeps on churning over and churning over. And if you're not on top of the latest innovation, then you end up falling behind your competitors. And I think everybody really now, when you talk about performance sport, is in the role of innovation and looking for competitive advantage. And that's why you've got to be abreast of these innovations. And that doesn't necessarily mean technological innovations, but also other innovations around people and processes and cultural innovations as well. So it's really important for top clubs, top organisations to keep on top of their innovation practices. I think essentially what you're doing at an international level is you're borrowing the players from the clubs, so you have limited time. So essentially the preparation period is very much condensed, very, very shortened. And in that sense, you really have got to maximise every single second that you spend with the players. Beyond that, I think the club versus country differs in that the players do belong to the clubs, so there has to be a level of due diligence involved, because it's about ensuring that the players go back to their clubs in a good condition. And then outside of that, it's about managing players when they're on camp, with a view to try to connect when they're off camp, but full well knowing that you're only in control of a very, very small proportion of their development. So yeah, the two roles, international and club, very, very different in terms of time management, in terms of maximising every ounce that you get out of the players when they're on camp. My impressions of the UCFB Masters programs are such that I think it's an excellent bridge between the industry and academia. I think that's very, very important, because I think the modern student, the modern practitioner, is looking for increased employability skills, and I think the modern day student wants more out of that experience than just the actual academic learning. I think it's very, very important. I think UCFB really does provide that extra link between academia and industry. And I think beyond that, I think there's also the UCFB courses and projects and the initiatives really have filled a void that was there post doing a degree at a university. So if I'm a young student, I go and do a degree in sports science, for example, and now I'm looking for something different. And I think now with the levels of choice, and I think with the levels of employability within industry, I think people are just looking for something a little bit different. And once again, the UCFB initiative is a fantastic opportunity for people to do that.